Michigan Wolverine is great. To be a Michigan Wolverine is great. To be a Michigan Wolverine is great. To be a Michigan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gamers Sideline, where sports meet the sticks and stories get pixel deep. This is Football Friday. I'm your host, Mike, aka Lichmax, and with me today we have,
Kinetic.
and with us we also have the man who is always upset.
I'm upset. It is I, the Maize Mad Man. Good evening, gentlemen.
And welcome to the show, Maze. Welcome back to the show. I think last time we had you on, it was for the interview.
Right.
I already did that one. But so I guess without further ado, because I know you're short on time, we'll get right into it. We're talking about Michigan recruiting starting off. Michigan's been on a tear getting those early commits, starting with, I think, Tommy Carr, Brady Smigel. And there's a lot of big names in here. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
Wait, so did we ever find out for sure that is it pronounced Smigel?
Yeah, it's Smigel. Somebody was on. We had like one of the offensive linemen on, who is obviously in contact with them. But yeah, he said it was Smigel because it would have been so much cooler if it was Smeagol, and we could like play the Smeagol and have the ring and the precious. But they crushed all that for us.
Like especially like when he's out there playing when he eventually gets his starting job.
Exactly.
When he throws the ball, just precious as he throws for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
Hey, so let's talk about the big headline, Maze. What did you think about the flips that happened on early National Signing Day?
So okay, so for the ones for Michigan, right? I really wanted to keep Julian Walker in the class, because then I think that defensive line haul goes from like really good to like elite, with Julian Walker. So that one hurt a little bit. Once he didn't sign though, I kind of felt like he might be, going the other way, especially since the reports out at the game, because he was a visitor at the game.
Yeah, him and
and the reports out of there was like he's ready to sign like right now. You know what I mean? And then for that to happen, I was like, oh, something definitely happened. By the way, South Carolina 3 straight recruiting classes has eaten our lunch for a top guy. Going back to Nick Harbor, then Dylan Stewart, and now Julian Walker, although Dylan Stewart to a lesser degree, because I do feel like Michigan was further down his list than the other two. But still, it sucks to lose out on a recruit to South Carolina.
Go ahead. Yo, you finish up.
And then, the Zion Robinson one, that one was kind of shocking to go to choose Stanford over Michigan, especially since Michigan had countered the Stanford offer in the 23rd hour there. So that one was a little shocking, but I'm more excited about Brady Marchese, if I'm being honest. I think he's more ready to go right now. He's faster. His body is, more developed right now. And he can high point the football. And I think he's just ready. He's ready made for like punt return and kick return, that kind of thing. He can make an immediate impact, right? Even on some of those like tunnel screens that Michigan loves, he can take those to the house. So I'm more excited about Brady Marchese. No disrespect to Zion Robinson and obviously what he's got going on either, because I don't want to make it sound like he's trash or anything like that. But I'm more excited about Brady Marchese.
Yeah, I mean the one thing that I kind of have a hard time understanding when it comes to like these top end wide receivers who were looking at Michigan that decide to look elsewhere, like they may have their own reasons.
Yeah.
But at the same point, if the reason isn't like that it's just a better school for them, then like how can you look at the Michigan situation right now where like we're struggling at wide receiver? We don't have a lot of guys who can really get out in space and make some plays happen. Like we have like 2 right now, McCulley, and when McCulley's gone, but now we just have Andrew Marsh, who's been proven to be able to do that. But when you're looking at that situation as a top receiver and you see that that Underwood can make those throws, we just need people to catch him. How do you not look at Michigan and go, I bet I'll shine over here?
Yeah,
That's a fair point.
and we'll touch on the Julian Walker thing in a second, but the thing with Zion Robinson, like I was shocked by it, and the big loss with him is just the big body, right? Like the big body receiver.
Right.
Is it Marchese or is it I heard
It's Marchez.
Isaiah Hole say Marchese.
It might be Marchese. I mean, you know, is he Italian?
I'm not sure.
If he's Italian, then Marchese probably is right.
Yeah, I just heard Isaiah Hole call him Marchese, so I was like, oh, okay.
I hope he is Italian.
He definitely has like a more filled out body for college ball right away, I think.
Right.
I think he's a little bit shorter. He's like 6'1", but he's got comparable or potentially better speed. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked at their times, but
he's faster. Yeah.
Is he faster?
Yeah.
So do you think that this was a case of we got wind of Zion transferring and we reached out to Marchese? Was it the other way around? We reached out to Marchese and sort of kind of pushed Zion out, or were we willing to take both of
them? So here's the thing. I think Michigan stayed in contact with Marchese or Marchese, whatever his name is, Marchese. Let's go with Marchese for the sake of right. I think they had stayed in contact. I don't know if you remember, but like when his decision process, it was like right down to the wire with Michigan and Georgia. Then a lot of people thought that Michigan could flip him. Then, in fact, 24/7 had a crystal ball that they kept up, by the way, from June on Marchese, and Marchese is how he's saying it. Either way, they kept Brady. I'm just gonna call him Brady. I know that that's his first name. So with Brady, they had, you know, they had always been in it, and then I think though once Zion wavered at the end, I think that Sean McGee and those guys really put the full court press on for Brady. Yeah. And then once they were able to get back into the Zion talk, right, with the counter offer, I think at that point they were like, all right, let's take them both. We'll take them both. But of course, Zion made the decision that he made.
Right. I think he'll do well over at Stanford. I don't know exactly what their team's looking like, but I mean, he must have gone there for a reason. Either it was better for what he was going to school for, or maybe he had a better opportunity over there to be able to start, which although I believe he would have started at Michigan anyway, because we really don't have a lot.
I think he's going to be wide receiver day one as a true freshman at Stanford. And it was probably money. It was probably money, playing time, and California over Michigan.
I mean, I think there's a good shot that he could.
I mean, it's a lot of things going for absolutely, especially if you are a kid that is into education. Remember, we were fighting with Stanford for Babalola last year,
right?
Now that was pure academic, you know, and then at the end, you know, Michigan was able to convince him with the academics and the football, right?
Right.
Where Michigan is a great academic institution, right? For anybody, but there are levels, and Stanford is like Ivy League level in terms of the education. In fact, they're better than a couple Ivy League schools, right?
Yeah.
So
in the past couple of years, though, Michigan's really kind of surpassed them as far as being on that Ivy League level. If you look at global rankings on education,
it depends on what you're going to school for.
In public schools, Michigan has been number one and stuff, but Stanford is a private school, and I think they've been. I don't know. I'm not gonna. Well, you know, we can get into that.
I'm sure you saw it with your daughter going to college. My daughter's starting to look at colleges, so like we've been looking at like different educational rankings, like even like on the global scale, Michigan shows up in like the top 20 schools globally. On some lists, I don't remember seeing Stanford on.
So, are these public schools or just schools?
I just think it's schools. Period.
I mean, it also depends on like what
they would have like it was schools that would have like Harvard and Cambridge and stuff on it, and Michigan's in like the top 20, top 30. So Michigan has really even continued to rise up those type of lists.
Yeah, no, for sure. Michigan's done a great job in terms of the education, but. I think Stanford, and this is just the last time I had, and And in fact, like Princeton and those schools, Stanford was ahead of like Princeton, behind the Harvards of the world. But that's how and that was like the latest thing I saw, which wasn't recently in terms of like since this thing came out. I haven't looked, but they're a good school. Bottom line is that's a really good school. Campus is also beautiful.
Right.
It's in California as opposed to Michigan.
And Palo Alto, right? That's like a
Right.
really awesome area.
You know, actually,
Absolutely.
that might have been the deciding factor. The fact they don't have winter out there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Shout out to Marmar. What up, though?
Yeah, we got the Marmizzle in the chat.
But
hey,
at the end of the
Marmar,
day,
I saw you asked to come up, Marmar. Let us get through this with Maize because he's got to go here soon. And then if Lich is okay with it, I'm fine with bringing you up after.
Yeah, we can bring you up after. I think as a whole, I think our class for 26 isn't looking too bad. We got a lot of good heavy
That's a
hitters.
good class.
We missed out. We definitely missed out on some good guys, but I think all in all, we rounded out to a really good class, especially picking up Savion Hyder. That's going to help us out big time moving forward, especially once Haynes leaves. I think he's going to be a really good coming up behind Marshall.
Hyder is something else, dude. Like his highlights, I posted that one in the Discord.
Yeah,
that was nuts, dude.
Yeah. Hyder is very good, very, very good. I'm talking about like immediate impact good. Sharon Moore has said, he's a guy that he thinks can make an immediate impact at Michigan. And right now, with the Haynes thing not being decided, that is a huge statement to make, right? Because from all the accounts, Michigan's still trying to keep Haynes.
As we should.
And I agree.
Dude, that would be insane. Now, listen, as high as I am on Hyder, and I've said this before, I don't think he I think he gets like garbage time next year, but I don't see him like. Let's assume for a second that we don't have any transfers out of the room, right?
Yeah.
I think if Haynes stays, it's him and Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Savion Hyder for true freshman season beats out Parker or Capana, whoever gets running back 3. But I think that in 2027, he's in the mix for RB1 or 2, no matter who's there.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I could see him like his freshman year being on special teams for kick return and then also on garbage time if we're up.
I hope they don't do that, actually. No disrespect. I mean, because we saw Marshall do kick return his freshman year, and it was pretty decent.
And
but I just think, and by the way, like I feel like we grossly misused Micah Kaipana, but that's for another show. Yeah. I think Marquise kick return, punt return, all the returns, put him on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let me get your thoughts on this. So with our new class, these are the players that are not enrolling till summer. So I'm not sure that any of these will have immediate impacts. Usually a lot of times with summer enrollees, you don't see that. But on this list, tell me if you think any of these guys or pick one that would be the most likely to be a contributor year one, even though they're a summer enrollee. So we got the new kicker, Micah Drescher, which I'm curious if he's going to if they're just going to go with true freshman kicker or not, or if they're going to bring in a bridge. We got Tariq Boney. I think he's insanely under.
I do too. Yep.
Offensive lineman Tommy Froman, offensive lineman Adrian Hamilton, linebacker Aiden Reeder, tight end Mason Bonner, safety Andre Clark, defensive lineman Alistair Vallejo and Titan Davis, and then of course the guy Carter Meadows.
Yeah, those are some summer enrollees,
right?
Yeah.
So without having spring ball,
right?
Do you think any of them could contribute year one?
Of those guys, I think Vallejo is a possibility.
Yeah.
I love his tape. In fact, I like his tape the most of any defensive lineman.
Yep.
And then Andre Carter is one too. He's kind of like a quiet one that nobody's really talking about.
Yeah.
but I think he can also find his way on the
Clark,
field.
Safety. You think
Yeah.
he's playing? You think he's playing safety, or you think?
I think he'd play like some nickel or corner at Michigan.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so those two, no disrespect, because Carter Meadows is a dude, bro, and I think he is going to be great.
I think he needs to fill out and like.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's hard. Like, by the way, none of the offensive linemen, not even the ones coming in the spring,
right?
They're good. By the way, I love Malachi Lee. He's I'm really cool with him, and stuff like that. But offensive line, period, as a freshman is just really it's like quarterback,
and pretty all but I think three fifths of our line are going to be returning next year.
Right.
All like redshirt.
And then I'm really excited about the offensive line going forward, just going forward, period, because they've recruited really well on the offensive line.
Well, and I think with our offensive line, I think we probably move Guarnera back to center next year, and then I think we could see. With Babalola stepping up, I think we could see him and Sprague take tackle and Frazier move into guard.
Yeah.
So
yeah, which is a great luxury to have, bro. When you're kicking tackles inside the guard, that's when you got
Ty
good
Haywood.
depth.
I think he can play tackle or guard.
Bro, Ty Haywood has been impressive when he's played, actually. So you're right. Yeah, I think he can play some guard next year. Maybe right guard for him and next year, and then the following year, or whatever, kick him out to tackle. But yeah, I think you're right. Babalola, we can't wait to see him. It's unfortunate he had that injury this year, but from everything that we heard, he was doing well at tackle. So
I definitely hope that this next coming year we can get our offensive line a little beefier and work on that skill when it comes to pocket protection.
Yeah.
So like we did all right, but we can definitely do much better, especially with how often we let that pressure get to Bryce during that Ohio game.
Yeah.
And then out of the early enrollees, so we got Savion Hyder, Travis Johnson, Brady Marchese, Malachi Lee, Jamarian Vincent, Marky Walbridge, Matt Ludwig, Brady Smigel, Jordan Deck, Mikhail Blade, Bear McWhirter, Jonathan Brown.
It's Moose, Matt Ludwig.
Markel Dabney, Tommy Carr, Jalen Pyle, Caden Catchings, and then the long snapper Colton Dermer. So one thing that surprised me, did you see that Rivals upgraded Tommy Carr to a 4-star?
Yeah.
Like,
did you see the season? Tommy Carr is balling. He started balling this season. So yeah, he's ranked ahead of now Smigel, by the way.
Yep, I saw that.
So do you think that if we end up playing Notre Dame at any point next year, we put Carr in?
We'll put him in. We'll put him in for the final drive after we've already got the game in the bag.
Yeah, after we're 40-0.
So this is like, obviously it's going to be fun watching this play out, but looking down the road post Bryce, and we got a quarterback battle: Tommy Carr and Peter Bork.
Tommy Carr, Peter, and I'm gonna throw Smigel in there too.
Right.
But yeah, I think that 3-way battle in there, because Smigel, honestly, before the knee injury, now I mean he wasn't having a great season this year. Damn it,
no,
right?
He really was not having a great season before the injury.
But he's got a floor.
Exactly, he's got the highest floor, in my opinion. Now Peter Bork is really good, man. These dudes are good. I like what Michigan is doing at quarterback. But yeah, so I do like it once Bryce moves on, that 3-way battle. By the way, 28, which it looks like that'll probably be right, 27, 28.
Yeah.
28. There's a kid in Detroit.
Yeah, who on the Tabron
could
hype?
be in the. I'm all the way in on the Tabron hype. But yeah, so. Yeah,
I will say that that Smigel knee injury. Looking at if we comparing it to another great quarterback who had a knee injury, that does kind of worry me down the line, because as we see, there is another former Michigan quarterback who had a knee injury who's not doing super well in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
that does kind of worry me.
Start it.
well, JJ didn't have an ACL issue, he had a meniscus, right?
Right. Yeah.
JJ's got a play calling issue right now, which I've went into depth on other videos, and I will on another one.
I just like to give kinetic crap about it every chance I get.
Okay, so Maize, let me ask you. Assume one high end portal addition.
Yep.
We don't have to name who it is.
Yep.
Project Michigan's wide receiving room in 2026.
I think Andrew Marsh, obviously, high-end portal addition, and Travis Johnson. I'm really high on Travis Johnson. I think he's the most polished wide receiver. Bro, this is gonna sound crazy. I don't even want to do this. Andrew's my guy. I love Andrew Marsh. We've interviewed him multiple times on the show. I text him all the time. But I think Travis Johnson is more polished as a wide receiver in terms of route running and all that. At least the on film, than even Andrew Marsh was coming in.
But do you think that he's more polished than Andrew Marsh is today?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
not.
Right. Wide receiver 1 and 2 will be Marsh and a portal
right.
Edition.
Right.
And you're gonna slot Travis Johnson as a freshman into that.
Let me say this. I think by the end of the season, he is.
We got Marquesi.
I think Jalen Pyle. Yes. By the way, I love Jalen Pyle. Also interviewed him multiple times, and he was tearing it up this season. Got to give him 1,000% credit.
I mean the state championship.
Absolutely. Marquesi is a dude. You've already heard me talk about him. I'm really excited about Michigan's wide receivers in this class. That said, I think Jalen Pyle needs a year.
Okay.
I think Marquesi will find himself on the field, on offense, anyway, right? And I think, and by the way, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit on Travis. I think Travis by the end of the season is wide receiver 3.
Okay. Wide receiver 3 as far as rotation, or wide receiver 3 as far as he's got the slot wide receiver job.
I think, in terms of the rotation, if we go out there with slot wide receivers by the end of the season, then he's the slot guy by the end of the season. And to start the season, it might be Browder. I like Browder too. I think he's a big body. I hope that he gets into the playbook. I hope that he gets into the practice field, on the practice field. Him and Bryce create that same sort of chemistry that Bryce and Marsh had, in the middle of the season.
I just hope we get a more dynamic and put together playbook for next season.
You're talking to the prior.
So as far as the wide receivers go, so I was going to ask you about how you saw Browder or our guy Amarian Stewart, if he might finally take a step. And then I know he's been your prediction for a couple of years,
bro.
But no. So the thing with Browder though, I think bringing McCulley in and expecting him to be wide receiver 1, I think was a bit of a bust. But I think that if you watch the tape, there's plenty of time. Like this last game, he was cooking Igbinosun, and Bryce just wasn't seeing him. You watch the tape back, and
Bryce wasn't seeing anything.
So what I'm saying is, I think bringing McCulley in, if Browder was paying attention because he's got a similar body, similar skill set, that he could have picked up a lot from McCulley this year. That maybe Browder can step into that big body role next season. Wanted to see what you thought.
That's something that McCulley talked about, right? Talked about mentoring Browder, even Marsh too, but Browder and being that next kind of big guy. By the way, Jacob Washington is another big receiver. I think he's 6'4", 6'5". We didn't even talk about him. What if he develops into Michigan has some. Listen, it can get real spooky if the playbook and all of these guys progress. That's all I'm saying. It can get real dark for opposing teams. But but I think Amarian Stewart's transferring, unfortunately. He's a guy that I was praising his shouting from the rooftops, because in terms of footwork, bro, I thought coming out of high school he was awesome. Whatever happened and injuries and stuff like that kept him off the field, whatever. But I hope he finds a place.
Is this a gut feeling that you're having, or is this whispers or rumors that
rumors that I'm hearing? I think he's gone. Along with Samaj.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he doesn't transfer, they might as well just move him to DB because you got the hands for it.
Yeah.
All right, so I got okay. I got two questions for you. I got two questions for you, but these are not necessarily recruiting questions, but just kind of for Michigan as a whole.
Yeah.
One might be a little bit sensitive, but we'll get to that one next.
All right.
Coaching staff.
Yeah.
If you're if you're Ward Manuel,
Yeah.
what are you doing as far as our offensive coaching staff this offseason? What are your moves?
All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want Ward Manuel to have to do it, but because I want Jerome Moore to be able to have the gumption, the intestinal fortitude to be able to look at these guys in their face on his own and be like, "Yo, we need to be better," or hey,
maybe you're
Ward
Manuel having this discussion with Jerome Moore about
exactly. Maybe that's a conversation they can have. But yeah, so all right, Chip Lindsey. I was excited when the announcement was made, and I looked into Chip Lindsey. I was excited. I was not impressed at all. Not one moment this season with any of the play calls. Not unless we're running the ball. Like, we were able to run the ball pretty effectively this year. But in terms of the pass game, I just thought they lacked creativity. It was a bunch of the same stuff, a bunch of the same concepts. If I saw flood one more time, how many, especially in the beginning of the season. Now they did move away from it towards the later part of the season, but in the beginning of the season, we saw a flood concept to the same side of the field at least 4 or 5 times a game. Right? Bryce was throwing out of that the levels concept, kind of levels, but it was all guys going one way. And here's the thing, Kinetic, I wouldn't even have been mad about it if we did other things off of it. If we give that look, go with the guys flooding, and then sneak somebody out the back. I was waiting for that all season. Like, yo, we're gonna get somebody with this, right? With a guy like Marchese sneaking out the back, that's a house call, right? So if they do things like that this season, I just want to see some imagination, man. We didn't have a lot of imagination with the calls, in my opinion. And look, maybe Chip was doing it with a hand tied behind his back, whether it was Jerome Moore that was putting, a muzzle on it, or whether it was what he thought he could get out of the quarterback, right? And maybe it was both, right? Like, not only do I have the head coach saying I want to do XYZ, but also what do I think that I can give my young quarterback that he can go out there and execute, right? Yeah. So, with that said, I wasn't impressed. So I want that to take a huge step forward. Bro, do we throw deep? Is that a thing that Michigan does? Are we impervious?
We tried it a little bit early in the season, and that's when Bryce was getting those interceptions because he was floating it really like.
Yeah, we don't throw deep unless we've set it up. And we never set it up. We just randomly would go deep throw. We didn't do the groundwork.
Let me tell you this: the first 2 plays on offense for Michigan in the game, I thought were excellent. Both calls, right? The run. Which, by the way, if that's Haynes, it's a house call, in my opinion.
For sure.
No disrespect to Jordan Marshall, who I also love, bro. Jordan Marshall
playing with like a separated shoulder.
Absolutely. If Marshall was 100%, that's a house call too.
By the way, those 2 plays, both to Marshall, by the way, that I'm talking about, because the run and then that little pass that was like a kind of a safety valve for Bryce right in his. You have to do that again. We never saw the safety valve be right in Bryce's eyesight again throughout the game. It was all these the flat and whatever, but he's a young guy. That's a position that like tight end. That's why like young quarterbacks love tight ends and stuff like that, because they can see those guys right in their face, right? Yep. We get like a little stab route right in the face. Boom. If all else fails, this 6'7" guy is right here. I'm gonna throw it to him. You know what I mean? And I didn't see, you got to help the quarterback too. And I didn't see a lot of that. So I'm a little disappointed in that. Bro, how about this, Kinetic? I brought this up on the last time it wasn't even my show, I don't think. I was on with TJ. I brought this up. How many times did you see Bryce come off the field, whether it was a 3-and-out, whether it was Michigan punting, a field goal, heck, successful plays for Michigan touchdown, where members of the coaching staff came around Bryce with either stills or a tablet to say, hey, did you see this? I saw that absolutely this many times throughout the season. It was Bryce went to the sideline, he sat on the bench, either happy or sad, whatever it was, and he was smoldering by himself. Yep. Like, you have to coach the quarterback, man. And we didn't do that this year. Nobody, not the head coach, nobody was helping Bryson, at least visually, optically, that we could see in those moments.
Yeah, and I think that's a major issue. I think that, so like, if I'm going into the offseason, my biggest intention with the offensive line or offensive staff is I want to bring somebody else in on the offensive staff, and I would sit down and have a conversation with Chip Lindsey, and I would say, what do you want to do? Do you want to be the play caller, the offensive coordinator, or do you want to be the QB coach? Mm-hmm. And whatever one you want to do, we can do that. We're going to bring somebody else in to be a co-OC with you. But I need you to either focus on developing Bryce or being the play caller and running the system. I think Sharon Moore needs to take a step back and let Chip run his system. Mm-hmm. But I think that Chip Lindsey trying to revamp Michigan's offense, trying to be the play caller, having this tug of war with Sharon Moore, and be the QB coach, it's not working.
I agree.
So I'm of the mind. Figure out what Chip wants to do, and then look to bring in somebody else. I don't care if it's Joe Sloan who has a good relationship with Bryce. I don't care if it's Brian Greasy coming back to Michigan to be a QB coach. I don't care. Right. But he needs a dedicated guy that's getting with him after every series, after every good and bad play, and helping him critique everything and just like make those little small changes.
1,000%.
What do you think about that? Like,
yeah, because I think if we had a dedicated QB coach, we could have more quickly addressed his vision issues during that Ohio State game.
Well, during every game, listen, even the games where Bryce was good this season, which was like 2 or 3 where he was just really good, right? And this is where, like Kinetic was saying, like I was pointing out earlier, it doesn't matter if it's a successful drive, right? Because the likelihood that your freshman quarterback on every snap of that drive threw it to the right guy, even if it was not even the right, let me not say the right guy, but made the right read, even if it was a completion, right? That's what we're talking about, right? Because we're trying to get him to a level where he's seeing it before we don't, once he steps to the line of scrimmage, reading defense. Did you see Bryce read a defense this season?
No,
I didn't see Bryce read a defense necessarily.
Against some of the less athletic ones like CMU and stuff, he was doing okay. Even there, he was making some mistakes. But against the higher end defenses, no, he wasn't reading the safety rotations. He wasn't reading the linebackers. He was literally just going through progressions on his receivers, but he wasn't reading the defense.
Literally on an RPO when he was supposed to read the safety against who did we play before Washington? I mean, before Maryland. Before Maryland was Northwestern. Yeah. Literally on an RPO play where he's supposed to read the safety to hit that seam throw. He did it. And the safety dropped down right into the spot where he wanted to throw it, and he threw it. Yep. And it was an interception. Now, granted, before that, he had hit that play like 2 or 3 times earlier in that game. But because Northwestern was like, hey, I mean, maybe we should defend this a different way. They did that, and he didn't read that. And by the way, like I don't want to sound like I'm out here beating on Bryce, because I am not. Bryce Underwood is an excellent talent. I think he's going to be great for Michigan. I think he's going to win a lot of games at Michigan. But that said, he was a true freshman quarterback. He's a young guy that needed guidance. Period.
Bro, he turned 18 2 weeks before the season started. He graduated high school 7 months ago. Him and Andrew Marsh. This is why, like, during the watch along that I was doing, like, somebody in the chat was like, "How are you so calm about this?" And I was like, "Dude, we're asking 2 guys that graduated high school 7 months ago to carry our team, and we're sitting at a 9-win season in the Big Ten. Like, I can't.
How about that?
like I'm not. It's not that I don't have critiques, because I think that a lot of
mean,
we don't really have like a statement win over a good team this year. But
We
all in
don't.
all, what I saw was us leaning on a very young team, and the vast majority of which are coming back next year. My biggest concerns are the offensive scheme. So, with the offensive scheme, let me ask you, how much of this, because you mentioned like the play calling earlier, how much of this was Chip Lindsey not drawing up a good scheme versus how much of it was Bryce, like Chip being handcuffed by Bryce's ability to read the defenses and go through progressions, and him trying to sort of to simplify the offense for him? And how much of it do you think was the rumored, because I haven't seen anything official on it, but the push and pull, the tug of war with him and Sharon Moore on play calling? Like where if you were making a pie chart of blame for the ineffectiveness, the offense not really taking the jump from last year to this year like we hoped it would.
Yeah.
How would you divide that responsibility up?
So I want to say I would give thirds to each. Like I give a third to Chip, a third to Coach Moore, a third to Bryce. But I actually want to take some of this off of Bryce, because he's just the quarterback, the freshman quarterback that was thrust into this position, right?
A
so
position that he wanted, though.
No, it definitely. By the way, I mean, who doesn't? Let's be fair. If you're a freshman quarterback, or if you're a quarterback, play your home games in the big house and all of that, right? Like, but you're right. You know, this is what Bryce asked for, and what Bryce seemed to, ask for over and over again, with statements like it's, Matt Patricia versus me. It's, I want, you ain't never seen a freshman like me. Right. I want to win a couple Heismans in the national championship, which, by the way, I wish that was reversed. But, that sort of thing. Like, he definitely welcomed, and maybe not like knowingly, but he welcomed the criticism that came with those statements, right? If he didn't go out there and be otherworldly, right? So, so sure. But I think the grown-ups have to get the bulk of the blame here, right? So I'm going to give Chip, a good 45% of this. I'm going to give Sharon a good 40%, and then we'll throw the rest to Bryce, right? I think, well, actually, let's give them both 45%, and we'll throw the rest to Bryce, right? Because if I'm Chip Lindsey, the offensive coordinator, I'm also the quarterback coach. I need, with that, and there is like an assistant quarterback coach or whatever on the team, but bro, have that man be with Bryce on the sideline, especially in times of peril. We definitely need it then.
Right. Communicate what you're seeing to him and let him
exactly. And if I'm Sharon, bro, listen, you're not the OC anymore. All right. You have to trust the people you hire. Let them do the job. Yep. So Sharon deserves some of that blame. Chip Lindsey deserves some of that blame. But yeah, I'm gonna put the bulk on both of those guys.
Yeah. So okay. So then. Okay. So what do you have anybody that you, off the top of your head, would want to bring in to be like a co-OC with Chip Lindsey, whether it's to be the quarterback's coach, co-OC like we've done before, or whether it's to be the new play caller who kind of collaborates with Sharon and Chip on the offensive game plan, but is the play caller in game, and let Chip Lindsey be the quarterback coach? How would you? Do you have anybody that you would bring in for that? And do you have a preference for what you do?
I think you mentioned Joe Brady, or
I said Joe Sloan.
Joe Sloan. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't hate Joe Brady either, other than he's a Penn State alum. But I wouldn't hate Joe Brady either.
No. But Joe Sloan, I think, would be a good co-OC.
He stands out to me only because he's already got a great relationship with Bryce.
Right. And I was thinking the same. But I like I've been trying to get Brian Greasy back at Michigan in some capacity for a while, right? Brian Greasy,
current quarterbacks coach for the 49ers.
49ers, right? Brian Greasy is a national champion at the University of Michigan. Brian Greasy is a former quarterback at the University of Michigan. I mean, I'm not saying Brian. And here's the thing too that people make a mistake with. Yeah, and even I made this mistake. I remember with who was our quarterback turned wide receiver coach, and I hated it. Who then left to be in the media?
Jack
Tuttle, right? So you don't necessarily have to be a great player at any position to be a good coach. You don't have to be a player at all to be a good coach, right? But Brian Greasy, you know, and he wasn't necessarily a world beater at quarterback, but I trust his mind. You know, he did win a national championship at this level. I'm sure he can impart wisdom to Bryce Underwood, right? So I like that. I like him for a quarterback coach. I like somebody mentioned Devin Gardner, but somebody also mentioned that Devin Gardner was coaching Joe Milton, I believe.
Yeah, I think
I've heard people close to Devin say that he hates coaching.
I saw that too. Yeah,
but that he doesn't like doing it.
I think if I could pick one like fan,
but he and Bryce also have a relationship too from early. You know, Bryce.
He could be a mentor and you know, but I don't know if I'd want to make him the quarterback's coach. Sorry,
right.
Oh, it's okay. I think if I could make one fantasy pick for quarterback's coach, like if I could pick anyone, I think I would pick Tom Brady to coach Bryce. I think he would be the best.
Well, yes, coach. But he's not about to leave Fox to be the quarterback coach at Michigan.
I think
pay him enough. He might.
I think Tom Brady is more going to be like that. Like I just said with Devin Gardner, a mentor, someone that Bryce could go to for, you know, hey, can you tell me what you see?
I think he's been that, right?
But I don't see him going into coaching full time.
I think Brady did give Bryce his line.
Would you give any? I know it's a little bit unconventional because we're saying QB coach. Mm-hmm. But you could have somebody on the staff whose entire job was to just sort of critique and talk to Bryce like in the same manner. Would you give any consideration to bringing on his private QB coach?
I would. I in fact,
did I get his name right?
Yeah, I was talking to Dooley about coming on to the show a couple of times. We've been in contact a couple of times about him coming on to interview, but he's also expressed to me even before the interview that he's not necessarily looking to come on to be, you know, a coach at a school or anything. He enjoys the travel and you know that sort of thing. But listen, money talks, Kinetic. We know that. Right. If they offer you $1 million a year to be freaking quarterback coach, which is kind of crazy,
and maybe not even quarterback coach, just bring him on as like a staff, like an analyst or consultant. Right. But his entire job is to work with Bryce.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's before you go, Maize, I got one question. I got one final question for you.
Yeah.
So as we all know, the Big Ten championship game is being played this weekend. Who do you got winning that game between Indiana and Ohio State?
Well, I think Ohio State's going to win. I don't want Ohio State to win. That said, listen, I got to be honest, bro. They look better than they did last year. On defense, I think they're faster. They're flying around. And on offense, this quarterback, if it's possible, right, is playing better than Will Howard did a year ago. Let me say this, he seems more composed even than Will Howard was a year ago.
For sure.
Will Howard did some things with his legs.
Julian Sand was a better quarterback than Will Howard.
Yeah. Will Howard could do things with his legs that kind of gave the opposing defense. You have to worry about that a little bit.
Yeah.
But this kid, listen, this is when I knew he was real. By the way, I thought Wink should have heated him up a little bit, especially after that interception. I thought he should have sent the dogs on the next possession they got it, because I thought then, you know, we could get into the head a little bit. But this is why I know he was real. He started the game 0 for 2, right? The first one, he goes down the field, right? Exactly. Goes down the field. Great play by Zeke Berry on Carnell Tate, by the way, on that play. incomplete. Then his very next throw, he's going to his best receiver, and that one's picked off, right?
Yeah.
And he could have
Tyreek Hill finally
easily,
got one.
right, bro. Yeah, bro. He could have easily, by the way, he's on the road. He's in the elements.
And this is the first time all year that he had adversity like that, especially to start the game.
To start a game, they're down. They're already, it's 3-0 when but that's another thing. And but they're down. He throws that interception, which, by the way, Michigan needed to score touchdowns on those drives, both of them, but at least one of them, especially the interception drive. We get the ball in Michigan territory. If they can go put 7 on the board, and that score is 10-0 and not 6-0, because a touchdown gets them right back in the lead of that game, which, whatever. We will be here forever, and I don't have forever, but I thought that his response to that opening, sequence is Heisman worthy. I know he doesn't necessarily have a Heisman moment. That's Heisman worthy response.
I still remember, I don't remember if it was you or Maniac, but thought I was crazy when I said last offseason that Julian Sand was going to be the best quarterback that Ohio State's had since CJ Stroud. And
I don't remember it, but I'm sure I probably was incredulous to it.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I've been saying for a year that I liked him coming out of high school. I liked him when he was committed to Bama, and I wasn't going to change up what I was my thoughts on him.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And I like you said, I don't think he has like necessarily a Heisman moment or like a statement play this year, but he's been very solid, and he's been and the biggest knock on him, in my opinion, to this point, was that he hadn't faced adversity, and we hadn't seen how he would respond to it. Well, we saw it in this game, and that was a big jump. So my final question for you, Maize, is since we started off and this is supposed to be the talking about the recruiting class, but we got talking about Michigan overall. Give me your thoughts on Sharon Moore as the head coach in the recruiting realm, specifically the job that he's done since he's been here.
Elite. I think Sharon Moore is an elite recruiter as a head coach. He's and when I say elite, I'm talking top 10 recruiter as a head coach in college football already. Because I think he
allows him to be that as a first-time head coach to recruit at that level.
Well, first of all, he's younger. I think he relates a little better, and also I just think he he genuinely, like, he has like a genuineness about himself, right? We saw him be emotional after that Penn State game. Everybody was killing him for it, but that was like his genuine self in that moment, right? The coach was told on the freaking tarmac he couldn't coach his team, and then he's thrust into this position, right? Anybody would probably be emotional, maybe not crying like a baby saying this is for you into the camera, but some level of emotion after that, right? So I do think he has a bit of a genuineness about him, and he's also young and relatable to a lot of these guys.
So let me ask you sort of just follow up. I know you got to go. Do you think the way that the players buy into him and the way he's been able to recruit is enough to sort of give him to balance out the mistakes as a first-time head coach, and that could carry him into getting to where we all hope that he can be as a head coach? Or do you think it's not enough at this level?
I don't think it's enough past next year. If next year, I think that's why we were able to get over 7-5. So because he went out there and killed it on the recruiting trail, right, last season. We're able to get over a disappointing kind of 9-3, even though, as I pointed out to people at the beginning of the season, this is where a lot of people had, and I'm talking about Michigan fans,
right.
10-2, 9-3 is what they were saying. We go 9-3, and now they're acting like, it's crazy that we're only 9-3. Like, bro, this is what you said. This is where you said we would be.
Right.
And this is what you said was a good season this year. But all right, beyond that, I do think missing the playoffs 2 years, and though I've come out and I've said, bro, he's had a certain set of circumstances, especially that first year, kept him out. You brought that up, right? He got there late. He wasn't able to hop in the portal like you wanted to hop in the portal. He had what he had at quarterback.
NIL support didn't happen until after
NIL support didn't happen. Right. These are all facts. Yes. Don't let Michigan fans hear you say it though, because apparently facts are they're impervious to
according to Michigan fans on X. I enjoy mediocrity because I point
exactly, bro. Like we're sunshine pumpers because we actually understand. It was impossible almost for it to be a lot better than that. Now, granted, these are Sharon's shortcomings. I know I'm like pushing up against the clock here. Sharon's shortcomings, timeout situational football. Let's just say that. Where the hell is it? Did you never play a video game growing up?
We know he did. We know when he was playing at Oklahoma, he was playing NCAA.
Exactly, bro. You played college football. Your situational football sense is missing. We need it back.
When your mentors are Bob Stoops and Jim Harbaugh and the other guy from Louisville, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Those are your mentors, and you just said that you just told us all that you talked to Nick Saban on the regular, like. You can't have this bad.
Make it make sense. Call a timeout, sir.
But hold on, isn't that what Biff Poggi's there for, to help with that stuff?
Listen. I thought so. Somebody he needs a timeout like translator or something. I don't know, like somebody that like smacks him in the back of his head. Timeout. Like that's that person's job.
Do you remember the anger translator from Key and Peele?
Exactly.
That's what Sharon Moore needs.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
we'll let you 1,000%.
But yeah, we'll let you get out here. I know you're heading over to the
nah, man, this was good. We got to do it again. Appreciate you guys for having me on. And
in case anyone wants to see, don't know and wants to see his content, first link in the description, it'll take you right over to the Maize Mad Man channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button over there and check it out over there, because you'll see me on Mondays along with him and the Maniac for Maize Out Mondays.
And where else can they find you? Week 0, and what's the one on Saturday morning again?
Yeah, week 0. I'm headed over there now. Don't leave here to go there, but
catch the replay.
Separate exactly. Two tabs. Yeah,
week 0 every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then every Saturday morning, the big college football show at 11 that really starts at 10:45 every Saturday.
And we'll give Maize a round of applause on his way out.
Appreciate you, Maize.
Appreciate you. Alrighty, now now we're gonna move on to.
If you wanna go ahead and drop the link in the chat for Marmar or Keegan or anyone else who wants to come up and talk Michigan with us.
Well, we're about to hit to the next topic, but we can if they want to talk about it, we can. So there's a link in the chat if you guys want to come up and talk Michigan, or what we're going to be talking about next, which is the conference championships.
I should probably have that pulled up.
I got it.
So into the Michigan stuff, I was
right. So we're going to talk about the conference championships that are being played. Some are being played right now as we speak, and others that we played tomorrow. The important ones are played tomorrow. But the important thing is that we do actually have, luckily enough, we have a Michigan versus Ohio game in the conference championship. It's just in the MAC. We got Western Michigan versus the Miami of Ohio going on at noon on ESPN. I'm gonna give the edge to Western Michigan. I think they got this one, and it's not because of Noah over there. I think Noah really gives them the edge. You know what I mean?
Wait,
the announcer's gonna
hold on. First of all, Lichamax, if you're gonna host a college football show,
I'm not saying his name.
No. If you're gonna host a college football show, you need to get your facts straight. Noah does not play at Western Michigan.
I thought he played at
Eastern Michigan.
Well, again, I'm confused. They're both Michigan.
Western Michigan is the Broncos,
right?
And they also have a couple of former Michigan Wolverines, Cole Cabana, running back.
Right.
And one of our offensive linemen, I'm mind blanking on his name. Somebody in the chat, let me know. Went to Western Michigan. And fun fact, we play Western Michigan first game next year. Their season open.
And hopefully they still have Cole Cabana, so we can have a reunion with some of his brethren. Granted, they'll be trying to run him over, but still. Yeah, we have it's going on tomorrow at noon. We got the MAC championship. It's Western Michigan versus Miami of Ohio. It's at least one Michigan v Ohio in a championship, in a conference championship. Who do you think? Who do you give the edge to in that one? Me personally, I want to say Western Michigan, but that's just me being a homer, to be honest.
I'll say this. I don't know a whole lot about Miami of Ohio. They do have some cool uniforms, but like I don't know a bunch about them. I know that they're decently good this year. But I'm gonna do the homer take. I'm from Michigan. I want Michigan to beat Ohio.
Right.
I'm not in any way a Western Michigan fan, but I don't have any problem with them. And so I want to see another win of Michigan over Ohio. Doesn't matter if it's different schools.
Right, or different conference, because that's we also got Texas Tech versus BYU. That's shaping up to be an interesting game for the Big 12 championship. BYU kind of came out of the woodworks this season, getting up into the AP polls along with Texas Tech. If I had to give the edge to one, I'd have to give it to Texas Tech, I believe. I think. Who do you think's pulling away with that one? The Big 12 championship.
So I think BYU, Kalani Sitake, the head coach, has done a great job there, especially with having to pivot at the start of the season with the unenrollment because of the student conduct policy that was broken. I'm trying to sort of be polite about how I say this. For Jake Retzloff, I think was his name.
Were they the ones that broke the Christian rule?
Yes, and he had to leave because of that. But he's done really well. And Texas Tech.
What up, though?
What up,
We got
Mar?
Marmizzle in the chat.
Texas Tech, I think, are by far the best team in the Big 12. They've only lost one game, and it was the game that their quarterback was injured when they played Arizona State. So I've got to go with Texas Tech on this game.
Marmizzle, who you got between BYU and Texas Tech for the Big 12?
I got BYU.
You got BYU? I chose Texas Tech. I think they
okay, but BYU know what they got to do to win this time.
Got to not break the Christian rule.
Yeah, I think that Texas Tech has a better quarterback with Baron Morton. I think Texas Tech has a better quarterback with Baron Morton. I just think they have a more athletic and complete team. That's not to take anything away from BYU, but BYU is looking at possibly not having their star tight end.
Right.
Texas Tech I think has an all around better team. And keep in mind that the current odds on the game, I believe, are Texas Tech by 12.5.
I think so, yeah. They're technically the home team, even though I think they're playing at a neutral site.
Yeah, they at the neutral site.
Yeah.
At the Cowboys Stadium, and well, sort of a neutral site. It's the Cowboys Stadium. It's in a different part of Texas, and probably almost as long from Texas Tech to Dallas as it is from.
Nobody playing with you.
What? It's still
hello, y'all.
BYU is that.
Right.
But still, it's kind of in Texas.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, like Kurt Cinetti, the teams he lost to last year, he didn't lose to this year. And he's from the Alabama tree.
Yeah.
And that Alabama tree runs deep. And Cinetti is not going to lose to Ohio State. Oh, and I think the biggest factor in that game with the Ohio State-Indiana game is Brian Hartline gone. I know Ryan Day called plays, but Brian Hartline had a hell of a season this year. I
don't know. Is Hartline leaving before the championship game?
Nah, he already left. He's gone.
Oh, he's already gone?
Yeah.
He's gone.
Oh, yeah. That does give the edge to Indiana a little bit, in my opinion.
Can I throw a little spiciness up in here?
What's up? We're not monetized yet.
Yeah. So, let's Matt and Kinetic. Why would Brian Hartline when he had all these other jobs at his feet. That's like us looking for a job. We got we got jobs that want us, but we're gonna go try to see what other jobs out there first before we take that one job. And Penn State was open, UCLA was open, Kentucky was open, Florida was open, and LSU was open. Why would Brian Hartline be 14 hours away from Columbus, go down south and take the USF job? Something going on, and then not coach in the Big Ten championship.
I mean, I can explain it.
No,
First of
hold
all,
on though. I think it's something deeper than what the eyes see. That's just me. That's just me.
I
First
don't
time.
think I don't think it's anything like behind the scenes, like deep. I think there is a little bit of there's some layers to it, but the easy answer is that it's for South Florida, right?
Yeah.
But
The best recruiter in the nation goes to South Florida. You know who else in South Florida? Stephen
Miami.
Ross.
Okay, but here's the thing though. You're a really good recruiter. You're going into literally the heart of one of the deepest recruiting beds for the type of receivers that Brian Hartline likes to recruit. But also, I think it's a strategic move because, like, if you go to a team or a school that is considered like a top end team or like a just below that level as your first head coaching job. I mean, look at how people are tearing apart Sharon Moore with it being before he ever coached a game as the head coach. They were tearing him apart simply because this isn't the school you become a first-time head coach at, right? If you go there and don't have immediate and really like high-end success, then your next job is you're taking a lower end job and your reputation is damaged. But you look at the guys that go, like the one that just left South Florida, I forget his name, but schools like South Florida, schools like Boise State, schools like Utah that are considered not on the same level, but they're still big enough schools that you can have success at. Those are good launching pads to get the best jobs. I mean, Urban Meyer went from Utah to Florida, right? Like, that's the type of jump that I think that Hartline's trying to do. I think he looked at it and said, I can go to USF, have in a great recruiting spot with my track record, and I can build up that offense and then become one of the biggest names, hot names in coaching for a big time job 3-4 years down the road.
And I mean, if he brings USF back from mediocrity to like a prestigious program, that's also something to throw his name on, especially going into the future, to give him a good resume for moving forward into the bigger jobs, potentially looking at a head coaching job down the line.
Well, because USF for the majority of the season was considered to be the front runner for the playoff spot for the G5 league, so it's on that right. SMU, Boise State, USF level.
Right, but with Hartline there, if he can recruit as well as he did when he was with Ohio, we'll see them have a regular place moving forward in the playoffs. But that being said, do you think that the loss of Brian Hartline is going to hinder Ohio State's ability to be able to beat Indiana?
To beat
or do you
Indiana,
think,
no.
or do you think their the athleticism and the skill of Ohio State will be able to outmatch Indiana on both sides?
I think Indiana got athleticism. They remind me of the 2023 Michigan team. They really do.
You think Indiana in 2025 is comparable to Michigan in 2023?
Yeah, that defense is. That defense goes side to sideline. I watched them all year, and the way they did Oregon,
yeah,
the way Indiana blew out in Illinois, blew them out. Ohio State didn't put Illinois out of his misery until the fourth quarter.
Right.
I don't think it affects their ability to play this game because I'm still not convinced that Ryan Graves.
Leave me alone! You're not with me. Hold on.
I'm still not convinced that Brian Hartline was the one that was like in full control of the play calling for Ohio State anyway. I do think it potentially hurts them in recruiting. Like their calling card for the last decade has been recruiting wide receivers. And
Right.
Brian Hartline was the main reason for that. So I think that potentially does hurt them going forward. But I don't think it hurts them as far as play calling or to end this season.
Right, and I could see that. I honestly think that it's going to come. I think it's going to be a defensive game through and through when it comes to Indiana versus Ohio State, because I'm inclined to agree with Marmar here and say that Indiana's defense is very good, if not elite, and I could see them giving Ohio State's offense a lot of trouble. That being said, Ohio State has a really decent defense themselves, being able to lock out. Realistically, they didn't lock out Michigan's receivers. Bryce locked out Michigan's receivers, so we can't really look at that. But they were able to lock out other teams previously and keep them from scoring big on them. Actually, I think they kept most of them from like scoring more than 1 or 2 points for the most part, at least in terms of touchdowns. So I think that this game is going to be a huge defensive battle between Ohio State and Indiana, because both of them have, I would say like potential. Like I know Indiana, I would say potentially has an elite defense. Ohio State, I would say, has a great defense. I'm not going to say elite, but they have a great defense. So if I had to give one or the other the edge, I'm going to honestly give Indiana an edge over Ohio. And that's just because of the way that Indiana plays ball. I think is going to overtake take overmatch Ohio State, if that makes sense. I know that probably doesn't make sense, but I think Indiana has the edge over Ohio State.
So you're picking Indiana to win the Big Ten?
Yeah, and not because I want revenge for their win over Michigan, but just because I think Indiana just has that little bit of an edge over Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest question for me is, especially after watching the Michigan-Ohio State game, is can Indiana's front four get pressure on Sayin? Like, can he actually pressure Sayin and try to get him off of his mark? Because if he can't, I don't think Indiana has enough talent to win this game. He's got to get pressure on Sayin, and I'm not sure if he can.
Ripstar has OSU having the edge as well. Ripstar is a Michigan traitor. I'm just kidding, Ripstar. Just kidding. So and then I know Marmar also chose Indiana having the edge over Ohio State. Is that correct, Marmar? Nod if you don't want to turn your mic on.
Yes. Because their defense is ranked second, and Ohio State defense is ranked fourth.
Right. So that's 2 for. So we both me and Marmar are picking Indiana. You and Ripstar are picking OSU. Is that correct? That sound about right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be close. I just think that Sayin, I was really impressed. I mentioned this earlier when we had Maize on. Yeah. I was really impressed by the biggest question I had about Sayin was how does he bounce back and respond to adversity? And he showed me a lot in that game with that coming back from that early interception. So I think he's going to will them to win. I'd say it's probably going to be like a 3 to 5 point game. So I'll say like Ohio State 27, Indiana, I don't know, 21-24.
Right. I think it's really going to depend on that first defensive drive for Indiana, on whether or not they're going to be able to come out with a victory or not. I'm still going to give Indiana the edge for victory based on their defensive play this season, but I think that first defensive drive for them is really going to set the tone for the rest of the game, in my opinion. So I mean,
to Ripstar's question though, Elijah Surratt, Roman Hemby.
I can barely name our players, so I have a horrible memory. Unless I'm looking at the team, it's hard for me to name the roster outside of like the big names. But um uh I can barely name Ohio State's roster, and we play them every season. So I don't like outside of Michigan, I'm not really well versed in other teams' players. I mainly just kind of watch the game. I don't pay attention to the players.
Breaking news while we're here on the show. Penn State is hiring Matt Campbell, Iowa State's head coach, to be their next head coach. Looks like Penn State is committing roughly $30 million in NIL money and $17 million in staff salary for Matt Campbell. And Iowa State looks like they are replacing Matt Campbell with Jimmy Rogers, who is the head coach at Washington State.
So I would like this soundboard item to go out to Penn State.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
Worst in the Big Ten this season. But hopefully next season we can see them come up and actually be a contender in the Big Ten like they should be. They're supposed to be one of the big four in the Big Ten: Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. Well, actually, no, Indiana just recently became one. But originally it was Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State, the big three of the Big Ten. Does that sound about correct, Kinetic?
Say it again, sorry.
The big three programs of the Big Ten before Oregon joined were Michigan, Ohio State, and then Penn State.
Yeah, I would say that now I would put Oregon up there. I'd probably put USC, Indiana, and Penn State sort of all in like a tie for that next spot. But I would say it's the big three are Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan.
Yeah. But hopefully they have a turnaround next season and can be right back up with us instead of being so far below us that we don't.
So what do y'all think about Michigan State getting donated $401 million?
Well, somebody had to pay the fine they had to pay when they got the hammer.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously an influx like that is great. I'll be interested to see how they allocate it, how much of it goes to staff, how much of it goes to facilities, stuff like that. I saw I think it was MSU's official account post something about like they're building they're going to build a new stadium. So I wonder
that stadium now.
Right. So I'm wondering how much of that is going to go towards the new stadium and how much is going to be used for NIL. And also, like,
a stadium about to kill our stadium.
Well, in some ways, yeah. But so,
we could build a new stadium
whenever we wanted to. One-time influx, and like
you
I said,
said we could build a stadium.
Yeah, if Michigan wanted to, we could build a whole new stadium if we wanted to. We have. Yeah, but
we've got a historic stadium. We're not doing right. But no, I'm saying like how much is this a one-time influx? Going to be a recurring thing
about the stadium. We need to upgrade though. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it, but we need to modernize our stadium.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm not going to be in favor of just tearing down the big house.
Actually, Ripstar
could use some major renovations.
Ripstar, I think they should have a special Ripstar price where for you it's double.
But yeah, I just, like I said, is it going to be a recurring donation towards NIL every year? Is it a one-time thing? And how much of this one gets allocated towards NIL? Because yeah, they have a better head coach now than they've had recently, but I also don't think Pat Fitzgerald's like a home run head coach. I think it's kind of like we talk about with recruits sometimes. He's got a high floor, but he doesn't really have that much of a high ceiling. It doesn't matter how much they put into a new stadium and a coaching staff if they're not going to put it into NIL, and if it's a one-time thing, it's not going to be able to be sustainable. So
right. And I hopefully they can upgrade their stadium, do something good with it, and make something good.
It looked real nice.
Because
the mock-up looked really nice.
Right. Because someone's got to make Lil Bro look good. Lil Bro ain't good at doing it for themselves,
I mean, Aiden Childs for sure ain't doing it.
And I think we're stealing one of their guys, aren't we, in the portal?
I don't know. I don't think so, but there's talk about it.
I hope we do. That'd be great.
I don't. I was on the Nick Marsh thing last year where he almost transferred to us, but then Michigan State gave him a big NIL bump to keep him at the last second in the transfer portal.
Oh,
but like
the
comments that him and his family have made about Michigan, even this year, I don't even want him here, man. I don't want him here.
What they say, Kinetic?
I'm not gonna say the word, like the comments themselves here on the show, but we can talk about it after.
Right. Well, with that, I think we're out of time here, so we'll do our closing remarks. We'll start with Marmar here. Do you got tell the people where they can find you? What you got going on?
You can find me on the YouTube channels throughout the airwaves. And sorry, man, I'm in the new resurgence. You play Call of Duty?
A little bit.
They just updated the map.
But yeah,
Warzone map.
We can talk about that after the show.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, my final thoughts is I want some upsets. I want that playoff. I want Texas in the playoffs so we can play Tennessee.
Absolutely, I'm with you there. I really want to play.
Hey, Kinetic, when the last time Michigan played Tennessee? Back in the 90s, wasn't it?
I think it was Phil Fulmer was the head coach of Tennessee. Let me look. Hold on.
I think right now we're projected either Vanderbilt or Tennessee. One of those two we're playing. Either way, we're playing a Tennessee team.
What?
Let's see. Last time it was January 1st, 2002 in the Citrus Bowl.
And we won, didn't we?
No, Tennessee won 45-17.
Damn, we suck.
We
got them this year, though. Kinetic, where can the people find you? What you got going on?
Yeah, so here on the Gamer Sideline, of course, every week, you can find me on the Kinetic 615 on YouTube for sports talk and game watch-alongs, primarily for the Michigan Wolverines and Minnesota Vikings. Also, you can find me on the Final Whistle Network for the AM Scramble show. Now that is currently being put on hold because of Lucian's having some personal issues he's got to deal with, but the Final Whistle Network for the AM Scramble on Saturday mornings. I just did a guest spot with my buddy Ali Babwa over on We Live for Saturday, so make sure to check that out. And that was just a review of last week's rivalry games. And then you can find me on all social media platforms at Kinetic 615. You can on X, Discord. Feel free to shoot me a message, and if you get a chance, check out the QR code that Lichamax is doing a Statue of Liberty invitation right now to point at. It will take you to my GoFundMe. A lot of you that watch the show are aware of that about the GoFundMe. I am currently in a bit of a pickle. I stopped promoting it for a while because I had what I thought enough to get by until I got to my arbitration, which was originally supposed to be scheduled for this month in December, and I had enough to get to December. And as I've said all along, I don't want to ask people for more than I need to get to just the bare minimum to get by until I get my disability approved. But because of the recent government shutdown, my arbitration date has been pushed back, which will likely get scheduled in March is what it's looking like right now. And as of right now, I do not have enough cash saved up to be able to keep bills paid for January, February, and March, to keep the lights on, keep the internet on so I can keep doing this stuff, to keep gas in our cars to get us to our appointments and treatments for myself and for my mother. So any help that anyone can give, whether it's $1, $10, doesn't matter, or even if you're not able to donate money, take the link, share it out on social media, let other people see it. Every little bit helps, and I really appreciate any help that anyone gives.
All righty. And then as for me, you can find me everywhere at Lichmex626. If you can't find me there, if you search up Lichmex626 and you don't find me, I'm probably not there yet. But if you want to see me there, check one of the platforms I am on, and I might make an account if you want to see me over there. Also, you can find me right here on the Gamer Sideline every Friday at 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. start time Eastern Standard for Football Fridays. We'll also do a NFL show midway through the week. We're trying to keep it going. Had a couple snags that kind of kept us from doing it the past couple weeks, but we're working on a schedule to get it down packed. And don't worry, if you want to see more of that, make sure you're subscribed. You can also find me over at the Maize Mad Man channel for Maize Out Mondays, where I produce the show and I host the Lich Pick segment. Kinetic, what do you want to say?
I was just gonna let everyone know that you guys heard it here first. That if he's not on a platform and you want him on the platform, let him know. So everybody that wants Lichmax to start his OnlyFans, comment in the comment section. Let him know that you want him to start it. Start the movement. And he already said if you tell him you want it, he'll do it. So
I'm just gonna make you guys pay for the VODs of these videos. So I mean, I'll make an OnlyFans, but it'll just be this video again. Well, I guess without further ado, make sure that you guys cheer loud, play hard, and we'll catch you next time right here on The Sideline.
From joystick dreams to Friday night lights, it's controllers and cleats under podcast mics with Max driving deep like he's throwing a bomb, and Kinetic calling audible, staying calm in the storm. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetic and Max never miss a beat. When the final whistle blows or the credits roll, we're signing off strong, that's how gamers take control. Catch us on the sideline, where legends chill, where the playbooks flip and the passion's real. If you heard the takes, then you know the drill. Till next time, fam, keep it clutch, keep it skill. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetic and Max never miss a beat. When the headset's off and the lights go low, we'll be back next game, y'all already know. We out.